everyone. Your host, Professor Tuck. I kind of get to see what it looks like from the front. All right, so we've been walking for a little bit over an hour. We're probably about 3 or 4 miles down the road. It's going to be a short day for us today. We're probably only going to do maybe 10, 12 miles because the next time because there's a big stretch. So what we're taking is from Kansas City, we end up taking the Rock Creek Trail. We do a road walk to the Rock Creek Trail, and then the Rock Creek Trail intersects with the Katy Trail, and the Katy Trail will take me all the way into Jefferson City and St. Louis. So that's kind of where we're going. So if you guys can hear me, please say hi. So it's going to be 60 degrees today, but here's the caveat. We've got about 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. It's coming out of the south. Yeah, out of the road. It's coming out of the south. Oh, come on. Dude, these roads. I was going to say. Hold on, let's go, Sam. I swear to God. So we were walking along a highway. And it was probably one of the most treacherous highways I've ever walked. Because there was no shoulder. And there was so much damn traffic. Even when we got in the ditch, people were still going over in the other lane. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We're in a ditch. You know, I mean, we literally, that was about 1.5 miles of interesting terrain. I'll just put it that way. Morning, Seeker of Truth. All right, good. You guys can hear me. Like I said, there's wind coming. We were going to do it at 9, but I put it to 9:30 because there was so much wind. So when we're going down the backside of the hill, we get all this wind from the south. And then when we go up, there's like no wind. And all of a sudden you start overheating and sweating. So it's kind of like an icy hot. We'll just say it that way. Okay, so let me take this off for a minute so I can get some air to my head. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Whew. All these years, or all these months sitting inside with the smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, all of a sudden I'm feeling it. But also, I've been spitting up black stuff, so that means the air in Kansas City and the surrounding areas is really dirty. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today, at least a part of the message that I want to share today, as we go through and I answer your questions. So this is, on one part, a live Q&A. I will talk about a subject, or I'll start on it. I'll find a stopping point, answer questions, get back on subject, and we just keep doing that until we run out of steam. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is the 4 homeless Americas. Now, what was his name? He was supposed to be the next Kennedy out of North Carolina. He kept saying there's 2 Americas. There's a red America and there's a blue America. Well, after that, I kind of shied away from trying to use that, but there are 4 Americas, or there are 4 communities within homelessness, okay? And if you really want to kind of do a top level, because I mean, even within these groups, there are subgroups, okay? Just like, within the skater community, there's subgroups. Within the rocker community, there's subgroups. Within the punk community, there's subgroups, okay? Just like that. But what we're going to do is kind of at least talk and define the multiple groups of homelessness. Now, the one that everybody is most familiar with are those that are in crisis. Those that are having severe mental health issues, that are in the thralls of their addiction, to people who everybody starts off in crisis mode. When you first go homeless, you're in crisis mode, at least for the first 36 hours. If you're in an urban situation, maybe longer if you're in a rural situation. But all in all, because you just lost everything, you got to get your logistics, you got to start building a foundation, you got to do all that stuff. So yeah, in the beginning, everybody kind of starts off in crisis mode. But there are those that are in continuous crisis. Those are the ones that you're seeing out on the streets. There are those that come in, they're in crisis mode, and then they stabilize after a few days of getting acclimated to a whole new environment, a whole new situation. Okay, so the first group are what we would call high acuity crisis mode homelessness. Those are what we see on the street corners. Those are who all the money gets raised for, or most of it. You know, all these different things. That's actually what's that's actually what's fueling the homeless industrial complex. Okay, but the thing is, with emergency services, if you cannot stabilize somebody, then they become a continuous repeat customer. Okay, so that's the first group. The second group would be your working homeless. These are people who may or may not be sleeping in a car, may or may not be staying on a friend's couch, couch surfing, doing something like that. They have alternative means because they at least have a work, and they have ways to be able to get inside when necessary for themselves. Okay, these are the working homeless. If you finally stabilize and you're getting to a point where you're no longer in crisis mode, and you decide you're going to either look for a job or start a business, you will transition into the working homeless. That's if you choose to stay static. Okay, so that is the working homeless, and there's a large segment of that. And as rent prices go up, as the cost of living goes up, and everything else like that, that population is going to be the population that grows the fastest. Not those that are in crisis, but those that are working, but due to economic reasons. I've got a cousin. He's working, but he can't afford a place to rent in Portland, so he's having to relocate to a different part of the country. So that he can have better opportunities and be able to afford a place to rent. Okay, so this is our working homeless. Our next homeless are our vehicle van life functional homeless people. These are people that may be on disability. These may be people that freelance themselves. These may be people that figure out alternative ways to make money without begging or anything else like that. Whether it be being a cab service for people within the homeless community as they need it, to all kinds of other things. Okay, van dwellers and stuff like that, they have the ability to live in a vehicle. Now, that lifestyle is fairly expensive because you got to pay for insurance, maintenance, and gas. And what ends up happening is over time, is your car will break down. So I've met a few ladies like this. Their car broke down. The mechanic didn't do a good job. And then they were without a car because they ran out of money. And so they were sleeping on a street corner. And something that they'd never done, never anticipated, thinking that they would be able to do it. But most of these people will be on some sort of supplemental income, whether it be retirement, whether it be Social Security, whether it be, doing something like what I do, being in the digital media. Sam, out of the road. Okay, so this is your vehicle dwellers and your RV dwellers. Okay, and then you have the last group. That's where I fit in. You become a nomad. Okay, being a nomad means that you travel, you have a little bit of a fragile ecosystem, but you manage to move along, gather resources, and always keep on the move. Okay, now, nomadic people are generally more of your long-term homeless people that you hear about being chronically homeless, because one thing you learn, the longer you try and stay static in an urban environment, is that if you don't keep on the move, you're gonna be in trouble. Because each municipality, some enforce it, some don't. Okay, so those are the four different types, 4 different communities. Like, we're talking about the hierarchy. Now, within the nomad community, you've got train hoppers, you've got rubber tramps, which I'm part of that community. You've got trail runners, which I'm now part of that community. You've also got van lifers. Okay, so you could be in more than one community at a time, but the thing is when you start off, you're always going to be in the crisis community, and your goal is to stabilize yourself so that you can move into one of the more functional communities. Okay, you maybe you didn't get your meds. Now you got your meds. You're doing fine. You're not one of those people that they have to keep sitting there taken to court and forcing them to take their meds. You willfully do it because you know you need it. You're functional. You're making responsible, coherent decisions. Okay. Ooh, let's take a look at this. I think this is. I almost missed this. I think this is like a trailhead or something. Well, yeah, there's a nature preserve right here. So, hey, what's up, Kung Fu? What's up, D. Gillian? What's up, Grandpa? That's why I only walk on the road late at night. Daytime, I stay on around 25 meters or more off the shoulder. Well, there was no shoulder, Seeker. That's the problem. So that was the big problem, was there was no dumping, no non-toxic shot required while hunting doves, vehicles on, okay. So this is just like a place where people come to hunt. Because if you look right there, that's a wildlife area. So right there is a trailhead if we wanted to go in. So we could have walked a couple miles down here and snuck in here. That's where I was planning, but we had hit 15 miles. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push Sam, and I'm glad I didn't because, that first night in the hotel room was worth it. After I woke up this morning, I kind of had a little bit of a regret of getting the hotel room because I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. Because my neighbors, my upstairs neighbors, started stomping on the floor about 4:30 in the morning. So I went out to have a cigarette and I'm like, oh, this ain't that bad. So I don't know. 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. All right, so guys, that's the topic for today. That's kind of what I want to talk about. We're gonna keep expanding on this. So between now and Jefferson City, I'm gonna be asking you guys to do several different things. First is, if you know somebody that is completely ignorant on homelessness, not intentionally, it's just they only believe what they see on the news, take clips like this, take videos like this, and share them with your friends. Help them understand that there's more to homelessness than being a lazy drug addict. Not everybody is a lazy drug addict, and so therefore they do need some compassion somewhere, somehow. Okay? The other thing is if you are a policymaker, if you're an educator, if you are somebody that helps shape or advocate for the homeless, please reach out to me through my Facebook page, the Epoch of Friar Tuck. You should be able to find it on my channel page. Okay, and for those of you that want to support the mission, as we walk from here to Washington D.C., and this is going to be something that's continuous. I'm not going to just do it this way. I'm doing this right now to bring awareness. I'm hoping that by the end of all of this, that the fruits of my labor is that I will start being invited into different places where policymakers are looking for somebody to kind of share what lived experience is like. And so I'm hoping that this is what this transitions into. If you want to follow that journey and if you want to contribute to it, come on over to Patreon. It starts at $5 a month and goes up from there. So today, if you are a member of the supporters tier on Patreon, I will be uploading some pictures from the trail today. So, we may not have much because we're walking down here. We're supposed to be staying in a boat ramp tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to walk the rest of the Rock Creek Trail until we connect with the Katy Trail. So that's going to be the interesting part. But anyways, guys, if you guys have any questions, anything you guys would like to bring up, anything you want to ask me about, now is the time. Because I am going to be keeping conservative on my battery. Live streams will not go longer than an hour, but they'll be at least 15 minutes long. If you guys remember back in the day, kind of how my Proof of Life live streams went, it's going to be something very similar. Okay, my only neighbors have 4 legs or slither along the ground. All of them are after my food. Yeah, that's why you have a dog. The dog keeps them all away. Well, except for the snakes. Yeah, I remember we saw this big black snake when we were in Maryland. It dropped out of the tree. Sam didn't know what to do with it. So, but anyways, I hope I'm not getting sick. You know, that's one thing, because my lungs are hurting. Try to get some video on those trails, please. Okay, well, if you're over there on Patreon, that's where stuff like that would be coming, other than, you know, what I do on my live streams or my long form videos. So if you want stuff like that, you will have to come on over and become a member of Patreon. That's where all that stuff is, you know, so on and so forth. So my goal is, well, here's like the real thing is, like, I'm not really thinking about money. I mean, yeah, money is important because it's a pay-to-play system, and if you don't have money, you can't play. But on the other hand, this is more about accomplishing a goal and a task. Unless something happens, now I've got some things in the works, but unless something happens to where I can get the operation, the dental operation that I need to have done, I've only got maybe 2 years left. So with that being said, I might as well go out with a bang and do something that I'm going to be proud of, and, you know, I can pass away with a smile. And that's part of my motivation of doing this. It has nothing to do with money, because at the end of the day, money ain't going to keep me alive. So, dang, I only get YouTube because it's free, but I understand why you need a Patreon thing. Yeah, I mean, I understand that some of you guys can't afford it, and I know that some of my homeless community, as time goes along, I have to make a minimum of $200 a month on Patreon for them to open up a tier where, like, those that I know that are homeless, or, you know, in a situation but would like to keep up, I can give them a free membership here and there. People like that I can do it with, but that would require that that would require that I'm generating at least $200 of revenue a month for Patreon to open that up for me. Best I've gotten to is about 115. Right now, I've lost about half of my subscribers. I'm gonna tell you guys though one thing. If you guys, because I know a lot of you guys like to watch me on trail and stuff, if once I get to let's say 30 paid members, the next season that comes around to go on to go to the AT, I'll go do it, because I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to do it. I've been wanting to do it, and so therefore that's my incentive. 30 paid members over on Patreon, and yeah, it'll be the next season, but I do have to complete this, so it'll be after this and the following season, in which I can go. Either I can start southbound in June, or I can start northbound in like April. So those are my choices. But all right, guys. I want to say thank you guys for being here. Oh man, here, I'll give you guys a little bit of a look at what I'm looking at here. So, see, it's a road walk out in the country. Ooh, look at that, that's pretty. Wow. Okay, guys. So, anyways, golly, it's gonna be a hell of a day today. So I'm sure you guys can hear the wind. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. If you want to leave me something down in the tip jar, it's down in the description. Other than that, thanks for being here. I'll see you tomorrow.